Hey guys. Hi, thanks for joining. We are waiting for Grass-Fed Girl. I think she should join in any second. I'm good. How are you guys? All right. Okay. So it looks like Grass-Fed Girl joined. Let me just add her. All right, there we go.
Judy, how are you?
Good. How's it going? Oh,
Good.
that was like
Good
seamless.
to see you.
All right, I haven't said hi to anyone, so let me just say a quick hi and then we can get started. So hi guys, thanks for joining us on this Sunday morning. I hope you guys have been having a good weekend. This is Nutrition with Judy and I'm being joined by Grass-Fed Girl. We are going to discuss all things thyroid and just hear her story about her hypofunctioning thyroid and then just how her journey and how she sort of healed all of that stuff. So let me actually turn it over to her right now so she could share her story for those that don't know her.
Thanks so much for having me, Judy. I'm excited to talk to you and anyone who is struggling with Hashimoto's. It's been a long journey for me, and it's never really over when you have a chronic illness or whatever you want to call it. So I first got diagnosed with Hashimoto's in 2000. I can't remember if it's 2009 or 2010, somewhere around there, about the end of 2009 or early 2010. So at that time I was eating pretty much a vegetarian diet. I ate a little bit of fish, kind of like you. And then I was a personal trainer at that time. I was in California, and I was a personal trainer, and I was running a lot of marathons. I had met some other trainer friends, and I was doing like half marathons, and at the same time as I was eating vegetarian. So I was putting my body through a lot of stress because I had a lot of clients at 6 o'clock in the morning. So every single day of the week I had clients not on Sunday, but pretty much every day I had clients at 6 o'clock in the morning, which means you have to get up like at 4:30 in order to get there. And I was drinking a whole pot of coffee, and like I could not even go there without a whole pot of coffee, or I take it with me in the mug, so I had to drink that. Then I would drink, I think I was drinking Diet Cokes pretty much all day long. So I was basically propping myself up with a lot of caffeine. Mm-hmm. And I was doing okay. I had actually lost a lot of weight before that, and then that's why I was inspired to become a personal trainer. So I had lost a lot of weight, and then I was like, I want to become a personal trainer. So that was going great for a while. For like a year or two, I was training people. Maybe about 3 years, I was training people. I was working really hard. I was really busy. And then all of a sudden, something started to go wrong. My joints started hurting. So I would do simple workout like a bicep curl, and my elbow would hurt for like a month. And I was like, this is really strange. Like, why? And it wasn't even a heavy weight, like 10 pounds or something. And it was like, this is strange. Or if I did push-ups or planks or anything where I bent my elbow. And I was like, that's weird. Why isn't it going away faster? So my recovery time was increasing to like a month. So I was like, that's weird. And then it started seeming like everything I was eating was making me feel terrible. It was like I had rashes and I was bloated all the time.
Right.
And I never really had digestive problems. So, I mean, these were just little clues that something was wrong. I was suffering from a lot of urinary tract infections. I mean, I always had those, but it seemed like it was worse. And then, so I was always taking antibiotics, of course. And then also the biggest thing was this fatigue that was unbearable. Like I could not even get out of bed. And as soon as I got to the gym and I was standing there with my client, I would have to hold on to something. I would have to hold on to the wall or to a bench, which you don't want to sit down when your clients are working out. You want to like look like you have some energy. Like you can't just sit there and be like, okay, now do some more. You have to look kind of like you're into it, you know?
Right.
So, but I was seriously could not stand up. I mean, it was that bad. And I was always, I mean, I never had health problems really. I just, even when I was really overweight, I didn't have health problems. I was just overweight, you know? I mean, not that I could tell, you know? And then all of a sudden with that fatigue, I mean, I was sleeping 18 hours a day. I mean, as much as I possibly could. The moment I get home from work, I just have to lay down again you know, and you have this afternoon break. So you take a nap there, and it was like, I could barely get up to do the next, because I had to get up and go back to work to have the night clients, you know.
Sure.
So it was just becoming like a big problem, and I didn't know what to do. So I had actually run into a girl that was a naturopathic physician, and she worked across the street from the gym where I was. And I got some thyroid tests done. I went to a regular doctor, and they were like, well, you're just getting older. You're like 31 or 32 or something. And they said, just accept it, you know, maybe change your birth control pills or something like that. And I was like, I don't know. This seems beyond just aging, you know? And of course, they didn't have any answers for me, but I got them to run some thyroid tests. So I took the thyroid test that I got there over to my friend that was a naturopathic doctor, and she looked at them, and immediately she said, oh, you need thyroid medication. And she actually had the natural desiccated thyroid there. In California, they can prescribe it. So it was the Nature Thyroid. And that was the very first thing that I got onto, and which a lot of people can never get because their doctors won't give it to them. So I was really lucky, and that's a mix of T3 and T4. So a lot of people feel really good when they take that. And within 2 weeks, I mean, I was a whole new person.
Wow.
I mean, I needed that so much. I mean, and we can talk about it more. Of course, there's adrenal aspects there, which I learned more about as I went along. And I mean, maybe if I did it now, yes. Jordan said, I had a doctor refuse to give me natural thyroid. Yes, that's the case a lot. But in California, they're a little more, sometimes, depending on where you go, a little more open. So she gave it to me, and I mean, the change was night and day. And so I started taking that, and you know, it's funny because I had already started nutrition school at that time. And so I think the stress of adding that onto my already booked schedule was just like maybe the straw that broke the camel's back or whatever. And then, so I got the medication, I started feeling better, but then I was learning in school a lot of things that were going along. And one of the first books I read was the 21st Century Syndrome. I don't know if you read that at your school, Judy.
No.
He's a chiropractor, kind of. I mean, we would say
Okay.
he was a functional medicine chiropractor now, but the book's really old, so I don't think they called it that back then. But it's a really famous book, and he has so much stuff in there about adrenal fatigue, and it really opened my eyes to what I was doing in my everyday life that was changing, that was making me so messed up, you know. I think it talks about nutrition, but maybe not in depth. It's more about the lifestyle factors, and you know, he has some adrenal fatigue tests that you can do at home, like shining a flashlight in your eyes or something like that.
Oh, yeah, we've learned that. We've learned that.
Yeah.
So is that book about sort of like your signs and symptoms, and then what it could possibly be? Is it that kind of book?
I mean, I think it's I guess a little, but it's more like you can do things at home to help yourself to get better.
Gotcha.
And one of the biggest things he said was sleeping in, which is so simple, but you know, you can't get better doing the same thing you were doing. So I realized that I needed to change my whole
lifestyle
routine. And so I cut the night clients so that I could, because I think going to work twice a day was really, really hard on me. So I cut the night clients first, And so I just go to work from like 6 to 12 or something like that, you know, and then just be done. So, because getting yourself back up is just too hard. So that was the first thing I did. And then I realized like this isn't sustainable for me with my health. So I started to try to figure out a way to work from home. And I picked up maybe a few more clients closer to home so that I could just kind of work out with them, like walking like a block or two. I mean, in San Francisco, there's people on top of people, so you can always find people close to you. So that helped. And then I realized that I had to start working from home altogether. So within about 2 years from that time, I was able to transition into working from home 100%. And so, because I started my blog and then...
And you finished school, right?
Yeah, I finished school. That was a 2-year program at Bauman College in Berkeley. And I finished school and I thought I wanted to work with clients, but I think my health was still so jacked up that I really couldn't help other people, not on a one-to-one basis. I was better off helping them in a macro level of like, this is information I'm learning, so I want to help you to learn it too. And so eventually I was able to sleep in, and I think that made the biggest difference in my health. I mean, of course, during that time I started going paleo. I started cutting out all the gluten, all the grains. I gained about 30 pounds during that time. I was kind of
after being kind of diagnosed, or oh, okay.
And or maybe around right before that, or with Hashimoto's you can gain 10 pounds overnight. I mean, it's like your whole body is crazy, and many people have told me that happened to them too. And then, but I just kind of had to accept it and try to just eat really kind of a refeed of just really good food. And I started learning all about Weston A. Price and eating liver and different organ meats. And San Francisco is such a great place for all the farmers markets, so you can get all this stuff. And I was going shopping, and I was learning about all the different things you can make, bone broth, and doing all that kind of stuff, eating sardines. And I think that with changing my job to where I could work from home was the biggest thing, that and taking the thyroid medication. And I never was like, oh, I want to get off my thyroid medication, because I think so many people are like, I have to get off my thyroid medication. Like, the thing about Hashimoto's is that it damages the gland so much to where it can't create the amount of thyroid hormone it needs to push your body, and that runs your whole your whole metabolism. So I think that that is not really the goal, not for me anyway, because I figured the way I felt was so drastically different on it, that I was like, and I've tried to go off of it for just like 6 weeks or something, and those aches and pains, all that stuff comes back, and the tiredness. And like one time I went on a trip for a month, and it was going to be to a beachy hot place, and I was like, I'm just going to go off my medication for a month, right? When I came back, like I was okay, like, because I was distracted and stuff. But then when I got back, it was maybe another week or so, and like my husband had to drive me down to the pharmacy. Like I could not. My energy had dropped so much.
Wow.
That I couldn't. I was like, will you please just drive me down there, and I can walk in? And because I was like, I don't think I can even drive downtown to get my medication, So, I mean, people want to beat themselves up about it. It's like, just take it if you need it,
Sure. So are you still taking the medication now then?
Yeah, I do take it now. I'm on one called NP Thyroid. It's by Acela, and that one seems to be really good. I mean, my doctor, since I go to a nurse practitioner here in Nashville that I like, and they're very holistically oriented, and she actually has dropped my dose since I've been on carnivore. So
Oh yeah, I think I've seen you post something about that, or maybe it was in your stories, but I do remember you mentioning that you lessened it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I'm due for another test. I had one not too long ago from Everlywell. I did one at home, and I need to do one again, but I just, like this past month, I kind of got, I wasn't taking my dose right.
Mm-hmm.
I got a new box of pills or whatever, and it said, a little frog in my throat. It said take 2 per day.
Okay.
But since they were new, like I didn't read it because I've always just taken 1.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, oh, so like at the end of 30 days, I realized, oh, I should have been taking 2 of these the whole month. And I was like, oh crap. So I really don't want to do a thyroid test until I have a whole month of taking it correctly.
So how did you feel during that month that you were taking, I guess, like half the dosage?
I mean, I'm not somebody who feels it right away. Like I've talked to some people who, I mean, I still had some, you know, I guess it was half as much or whatever, but I've talked to some people who, if they don't take it at the same time every single day, they can feel messed up. I'm not one of those people. Like I'll feel it, like I said, after about a month of, I'll start to feel it. But like, if I miss one day here and there or something, I'm okay. But some people have told me they get messed up just even an hour difference. So.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I mean,
some people are asking what you're taking again. Like they want you to repeat the name of your thyroid medication.
I'm pretty sure it's called NP Thyroid, and it's by some company called Acella, Acella. And I mean, it's not easy to find either. I mean, it's a prescription and everything. You're not going to just walk into Walgreens and be able to get it. I mean, I actually did get it at Walgreens, but that was a prescription. Some people won't be able to find that. Like, sometimes in certain parts of the city, they say, we're out of it. And, you know, you have to go somewhere else. And
so when you started feeling fatigue, I'm just gonna kind of go back in your story a little bit. Like, at what point did you feel like, you know, something's wrong? I'm getting enough rest. I feel that I'm eating a decent, you know, kind of plate of food. At what point did you go to the hospital or doctor? And then did you ask specifically for thyroid tests, or did you just say, you know, doctor, I'm feeling this? And then sort of what was that process?
Like, what led me to go to the doctor?
Well, I mean, when you went, and then how did they diagnose you? I'm just, I guess I'm asking these questions so that when some of the people that are listening, when they go, maybe they say the right thing so that they could get the right test, done on them, so that they can make sure that they're not being misdiagnosed by their doctors for, you know, symptoms they may be having. That makes sense.
Well, they're probably not going to do the right tests, because you have to be you have to advocate really strongly for yourself. And I mean, so they're not going to, you have to know ahead of time. So you can Google like which test. I mean, I have an article about that on my blog. There's like 5 things your doctor won't tell you about your thyroid. You can Google that, and Grass-Fed Girl, and you can find that. But if you just look up functional medicine tests for thyroid, they're, you know, like Dr. Amy Myers, there's a lot of people that have articles about which test to ask for. It's really easy. So just print that out before you go, and then you can make sure you have them all. And then what I would say is, you know, a lot of people in my family have thyroid problems, and, you know, say, I really want to get this full panel, which is, but for most people, that's 1000% true. You know, I mean, it is for me. My dad also has a thyroid problem. And I mean, if you just ask around in your family, which of course nobody told me beforehand, but if you ask around in your family, I bet 50% of them, especially if they're older, are on thyroid medication. But the thing is, it's the attitude of the doctor. They just tell you, oh, you just take this, that's it, you know? Right. And so, I mean, I bet you ask your aunts or your uncles, and they all are on thyroid medication. They probably don't even know why or anything. You know, they're just like, oh, whatever. You know, it just said take this every day. You know, they don't realize that it's probably most likely an autoimmune issue and the constellation of other things that go with it, you know.
Sure. Okay. And so it sounds like basically what has sort of helped you in your journey is a lot of the thyroid medication, and then you know, changing your lifestyle. So less stressful work during the day and then at night, and then even finishing school, and then, you know, eating a more healthy diet. So I know that recently, or I guess it's not even been recent, but now like 8 months into your carnivore transition, it seems like you've even healed more from just your diet. Can you speak to sort of that whole like transition from paleo to keto to carnivore, and why going to carnivore you believe has helped your thyroid function better, or your energy at least?
Well, I don't know that. So I do think I'm healing more because, you know, I lost about 20 pounds on carnivore that I could never lose on keto or paleo. Even though I was eating really, really well, like I said, all those organ meats and pastured eggs and seafood, and I was eating, you know, leafy greens, everything, you know, that I was taught that was going to help my thyroid. But then as soon as I started carnivore, I mean, within the first month, I dropped 10 pounds. And, you know, I think that was all inflammation, all water weight. And my skin changed. Like, I mean, I've always had good skin. Don't get me wrong. Like, I didn't have like a lot of acne or something. I mean, every kid has a little, but I've always had better than average skin, I guess. But it even got better, like more shiny and full, or I don't know what you say, but people have told me like a lot. And so that was, I mean, to me, that's a sign of overall health, like that. And I mean, my energy is, I would say it's bad when, like, it was so bad when I first got sick that I feel like you're never going to be the same again. You're never going to be the person you were when you were 18, or I mean, and also there's a straight difference between when I was when I didn't have this problem and then when I got it. So I just don't think you're ever going to be like 1000% perfect again as far as your energy. And of course, I mean, I am older than I was, but I think the biggest thing is, and I want to tell the truth, like when I eat carbs, and especially, I mean, paleo type carbs, you know, I'm not talking about bread or something like that, but I'm talking about paleo-ish carbs like fruit and sweet potatoes and stuff like that. I mean, I would say I probably have a little bit more energy. Okay. But, you know, do I want to be 20 pounds heavier? No thanks, you know? So, I mean, I like, as far as for working out, like my day-to-day energy is good. Like if I sleep good, like last night I stayed until midnight. Like I can't blame my diet for that. You know, that's me. That's my fault. Sure. You know, so it's like, what, you know, I know that if I go to bed at 10 or 10:30, I feel 1,000 times better than when I go to bed at midnight, you know? So it's like, I know that I should have done better, but, you know, I was like going down a rabbit hole or something. And, you know, so, but the biggest thing is for just pure exercise and stuff, I'd say I probably have a little bit more energy when I do like paleo with carbs and stuff. But it didn't matter how much I exercised, I could never lose weight. So what's the difference? You know, what's the point? Right. Like maybe I have, you know, but specifically for exercise is what I'm saying. Like I feel like you have something like that little pump of energy with the carbs. Sure. But the overall energy throughout the day, that kind of thing is excellent. And my sleep is really, really good on carnivore. I mean, better than I think it's ever been. The sleep is just, it's like you do not move at all during the night. I mean, I don't wear one of those ring thingies or whatever, but I bet if I did, it would be like, however it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and once I'm asleep, I am just dead asleep and I don't move. And I mean, it's just, so that part is really, really good. And
so do you feel refreshed when you wake up? Because earlier you were saying that you slept 18 hours or, you know, when you're, I mean, when it was bad. So, I mean, do you notice that you sleep, I guess, a little bit less than when you used to sleep on paleo or keto? And then do you feel more rested?
yeah, I mean, absolutely. I feel a lot more rested when I wake up. And then I hate to, like, one thing I do, I love to nap. And I'm almost like, I love to nap. But what sucks on carnivore, you can't. Have you ever heard people say that?
You know, I never hear about napping on carnivore, so maybe it's because people don't. I don't personally nap. I think when I used to eat carbs more, there were times where I could nap, but you're right, I don't really nap, and so I just go.
Yeah.
I personally sleep a little bit less, and you're right, like I feel much more rested on carnivore than yeah, I feel like when I fall asleep, I'm out, and then I just don't wake up until when I wake up, and then I'm ready to go again. So
like if I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning or something now, it used to be I would have to take a nap after I did that. But now if I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I could stay up the whole entire day.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Like I might feel a little tired in the morning, but then I'll get over it and I'll just be like back to, I could just keep going. Like the tiredness wears off in the morning and then I just keep going all day and I forget about it. You know, it's like, but it used to be I could stay up maybe 3 hours and then I would have a nap and then I'd feel better. I mean, every once in a while I'll nap, but not
consistently.
Yeah, it's like you have too much energy. You're like, no way, I can't nap. You just think, well, I'll just do something, like I'll take a walk or something, and then whatever tiredness goes away. And sometimes like I can drink like iced tea or green tea sometimes, but I don't drink coffee anymore because of my adrenal meltdown and everything. So seems like I can tolerate a little bit of tea, but not coffee. It's too hard. It's too, like I'll get this big spike and up and down of energy. And real coffee, I can drink decaf, but I don't drink real coffee anymore. I think if you are struggling with these kind of issues, you really should try to get off of it or moderate it or something, because it really affects you even if you don't realize it.
Yeah, when I was doing the functional evaluation at school, it was confirmed that I have like a little bit of adrenal fatigue. And so, and I mean, it makes sense. Like I have 2 young boys under 5 and, you know, I'm doing this whole, you know, nutrition with Judy and then also going to school full time. And so, I noticed, and so that was the one thing I decided to cut out was coffee. And so, one of the biggest signs of adrenal fatigue is when you're sitting down and then you just get up immediately and you feel slightly dizzy. That's one of the indications of adrenal fatigue. And that other test that you talked about, the light shining in your eyes and the pupil dilation. And so I cut out coffee, and then I noticed initially my energy dipped, and then I felt really sluggish. I had like muscle aches and all this stuff. But now like my energy's, as soon as I wake up, I don't have that, oh, like I'm dragging my feet, I need to get my cup of coffee. Now I'm just kind of up. It's not this high energy, like, yes, let's go, but it's, you know, it's consistent and it's good. And then I feel much less anxiety without coffee. And then also same thing, like I don't feel as dizzy standing up unless I'm like maybe electrolyte imbalance, but normally it's not that. But
that's a whole other thing.
Yeah. So yes, I think I totally am there with you with the coffee. I've been trying not to drink any caffeine, but I mean, yeah, in general, I do love tea myself, but I haven't been drinking it either. But I should try that and see how it goes. But
I like a big iced tea in the summertime. It's so hot, you know.
I think it's a Southern thing too, though, because it's huge here too. I didn't grow up drinking like sweet tea or anything, so I'm not used to it. But yeah. I could totally see that. My next question I had for you actually was, so, you know, based on your story, what would be your tips for people that feel that they have, you know, low energy, that they may feel, or that they may think that they have low functioning thyroid? You know, what are your, or, you know, that they have been diagnosed with hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's? Is there, do you have any tips for them to sort of, you know, from everything you've gleaned from your experience, like, what would be like your best tips to guide them through this? You know, and I know everyone's story will be different, but just from your perspective, like what would you recommend for them?
I mean, I'd say you have to keep testing your thyroid pretty often, like every 3 months or so. I mean, you can, and don't wait. This is one thing I meant to say before. Don't wait for your doctor to tell you it's okay. Like, you just order your test at home. I mean, Direct Labs has the tests. You can order them online. It's about $150. You can do Everly Well. Like I said, that's a test you can do at home. You don't have to get permission anymore. This is not, you know, communism or something. Like, this is just do it yourself, you know. I do it all the time. I mean, I have a doctor now that works with me and stuff, but sometimes I just like to have them so I know, or if I'm between doctors or something, then I just do that. So, you know, I think as women too, we're always like told, like, we have to wait for we get permission for this or that. It's like, no, and your doctor is not like a policeman. Like, do it for yourself, you know? So that's a big thing. I mean, just being assertive enough to say, like, this is what I need. I'm going to get it. I'm going to do it. And, you know, I think, and I mean, that book, a lot of that 21st Century Syndrome, I really think that's like required reading for everyone, because he talks a lot about the stressors from other people in your life, and how some people, you know, maybe they left a partner that was bad for them, or the job, or the commute, or, you know, they changed a big thing in their life, and that helped with their healing. So, you know, it's not just the food. It's not just because everybody thinks, oh, I'll just eat better, I'll just eat less, or I'll just, and it's not always that. It can be, and also the toxins around your home. That was a big thing I cleaned up. I changed all my makeup. I changed all my toothpaste. I changed my cleaning products to everything to be non-toxic. And I mean, I sell those over on my website if anybody's interested. But that was a big thing I had to change, and a big learning curve too. So you can't be putting, because that stuff all disrupts your hormones. They're all endocrine disruptors. They're basically all cosmetics and perfumes, and it's all made out of petroleum. So you're basically just putting like gasoline, you know, on your body. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense, you know, especially if we want to prevent hormone problems like PCOS and, you know, infertility and I mean, that's just a huge piece of it. If you're putting, I think the average woman puts 50 products or something on themselves every single day. I mean, that's insane. And, you know, if you smell like a Macy's counter when you're walking out of your house, like, you're gonna, first of all, make me like hurl, but you're gonna mess up your hormones really big too. So.
Yeah. And it's also, I guess, the reason why I think skincare products are a bigger deal in a sense is because it doesn't have to go through your digestive system. So you don't have all those like protective barriers that are going through the whole digestive system to kind of clean out and filter some of those toxins. So it goes straight through your skin, and you do have certain ways to detox, but it's not, I don't think it's as strong as the whole digestive system. So that's, you know, another thing, it's going directly into your skin. So
yeah, I mean, and why make your body do more work when it's already trying to recover from all the other stuff that we've already put it through?
Right. So I guess what I'm hearing from you then is, in order to really heal and you know, make these changes for your to improve your thyroid functioning, it's a blend of everything, right? It's like good diet, lifestyle, skincare, like toxins around your home, as well as you know, and supplementation or medication. And I'm also hearing from you, if I'm wrong, and obviously please correct me, but there's no one specific I guess lever that may help you more. Is that, I mean, obviously the medication I think is sort of the foundation for you, but in terms of the other, like the lifestyle, the food, the maybe exercise, sleep, and all that stuff, was there anything that was a bigger push for you that helped improve you?
I mean, I don't think I would have recovered, or got back to like functioning at all. I mean, I know a lot of people, Hashimoto's is one of the leading causes of disability for people who can't even return to work. So, I mean, some people are bedridden from it, or, then they get, and autoimmune diseases go in clusters. So that was the biggest scary thing to me, and why I was so determined to get off the gluten and get off the grains and get rid of the vegetable oils and get off the sugar, because I didn't want to go a year or two and have lupus or MS, or yeah, that could still happen, but I figured I would want to do everything I could to not get diagnosed. Most people, if you talk to them, they have 3 or 4 autoimmune diseases. Like, as far as I know, I only have 1 right now. So I don't want to, that was very motivating to me. Hearing that information was just like, okay, well, this is for real, and I don't want to, because you're kind of opening that door, and sure. I wanted to push it shut as best I could. So, and that's why I don't get when people don't take it seriously. When, my stepdad has MS, and that scared me. Like, when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's for real, and I don't want to go there.
Right.
And my dad, my real dad, has had a lot of struggles with his health, and so that was kind of a wake-up call for me. He has had gastric bypass and stuff like that, so I was just like, I don't want to be, and I know that if I didn't eat this way, I would be 300 pounds. I know it. I mean, even though I'm not like a skinny person, I don't even care. But the problem is that, like, I know that if I ate a standard American diet, I would be 300 pounds or more, because that's just, it's in my, that's in my family.
Genetics, yeah.
So
what does a day of eating look like for you now?
So since I started carnivore, which was 8 months ago, I guess maybe 9 months, I don't know, it goes so fast.
I know.
Time flies when you're having fun. So I started October 1st of 2018, and now, a day of eating is like, I'm really not big into fasting ever since all my adrenal problems and all my problems with binge eating and dieting from way back. So whenever I hear about fasting, like, I just have like a freak out. So if it happens naturally, then great,
Sure.
And I tend to kind of eat a little earlier dinner, and then I tend to eat about 10 or 11, sometimes 12. It just depends on what I'm doing.
Okay.
But I definitely don't wake up hungry. That's for sure. Like, I don't wake up at 6 a.m. I'm like, I want to eat. Like, no, I eat my coffee I put like 1 tablespoon of ghee in my coffee in the morning, and I put gelatin, and I put it in the blender, and I put a tiny bit of vanilla extract and maybe some nutmeg essential oil. That's really good for your adrenals and thyroid. And I'll buzz that up and make it like really frothy. And then, so I drink that, and then maybe an hour or 2 later, I will start thinking about some food, and I might eat some. It just depends. Usually I'll eat 1 steak a day. Basically, I could of course eat 2, but ribeyes are expensive or whatever. So I'll eat usually either 1 meal is like ground beef. So 1 meal will be ground beef, maybe some eggs, and then the other meal will be ribeye or another type of steak or something like that. We just got a whole cow in our freezer, so I've been trying to do stuff with that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Trying to use that up. So we had some T-bone steaks the other night, and there's a lot of roasts and stuff, so I'm gonna have to get creative about what I'm gonna do with that. because you get tired of eating. It's a grass-fed cow, so it's pretty lean, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I'll just put, if it's lean meat, I'll just put some ghee on it because I just cannot eat like really lean meat. So it's
Yeah, when I eat too lean of meat, I get hungry pretty quickly. I don't know if, okay, so yeah.
and it just
I've noticed
doesn't.
that.
Like last night, I ate some. It was from pretty lean meat from that cow, and I had put it in the slow cooker, and I put a bunch of ghee on it. But, well, not a bunch, but like maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons. And then like an hour later, I was like, and there was some like connective tissue and stuff because I had cooked it in the Instant Pot on the bone.
Okay.
So I had some like, you know, gooey parts and stuff. But then I was like, well, I feel like I didn't get enough fat or something. So I had a couple of pastured eggs after that. So then I was full. And I really don't like, I've lost my taste for chicken. Like I'll eat one, like the other day I went with a friend to Whole Foods and we ate a rotisserie chicken. They had an organic rotisserie chicken that was just like the salt and pepper. And I ate that with her off the hot bar. But they had, they had some Organic Valley butter. So I wrapped the dry pieces of the chicken in the butter like a little roll.
I've done that too.
Like, I can't just choke this down. I'm going to throw up if I mean, it was hot and stuff. So it was good. I mean, it's actually better than I thought it would be. And so, I mean, if you're at Whole Foods, there's not much. And I get like Whole Foods is cold in there and I just can't eat like cold cuts or something when it's.
Our Whole Foods has a barbecue center. I don't know if yours does too, but they have different cuts of meat there too.
You know, Judy, that Whole Foods started there in Austin, and I think they have the best one there. No, we do not have that. We have like the crappiest.
Okay.
Actually the one it's closer. I mean, there's 2 here, and one they're both in, of course, the fancy areas of town.
Okay.
But the one that's in Green Hills has brisket on the buffet. So if you get there and it doesn't have any crazy stuff in it. So if you get there a certain time before all the like construction workers and stuff, they like clean it out. But if you get there, you can get that, and it's really cheap. I mean, it's only like $7.99 a pound.
Oh, right. So, that's true.
So I like to get that. That's really good, but they don't have that at the other one where I was that day.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay, so you basically eat 2 meals a day. Do you snack at all?
Not really. I mean, that comes back to the stress and adrenals. Like if I'm really doing something hard or stressful and I feel like that I want to eat more, then I will, because I feel like if I don't, then I'm gonna maybe eat something that's really not
sure
on plan. So I'm like, I think, well, it's better to eat, 3 or 4 eggs as a snack or something rather than eating a chocolate bar or something like that. I mean, so that's how I look at it. And if I am craving something, I just know, like, I just eat more. So I just eat another hamburger patty or something like that. I mean, that's the way I deal with it. But because I know if I'm hungry, I'm just gonna start thinking about, usually it's chocolate or something. I mean, I don't crave that normally, but I'm just saying if I do, then I know that I probably didn't get enough of something, and probably it was not enough sleep or something. But
right.
I'm not gonna, like, for a while I was taking a class for like 2 weeks, so I was commuting across town, and then like those days I would just stop at McDonald's and get some egg rounds or something, even though I wasn't really hungry, but it was just like I was so stressed out from driving and all that stuff. So I was like, I'm just gonna eat another meal and I don't care,
Yeah, I noticed that the days that I sleep a little less, and I feel that I can't, my stress level becomes higher naturally. And, I think it's the hormones and the cortisol release and all that stuff. But I noticed that I tend to want to eat more too. So I think it's something that's pretty common. But yeah, I totally agree. Some of the days that I'm stressed or lack of sleep, then I notice I keep going into the kitchen. Not necessarily I have cravings, but I don't feel as satiated. So then those days I tend to eat a little bit more meat, and it's fine.
Seems like sometimes, I mean, you would break your fast earlier when you were you are doing now are you doing 2 meals now?
Yeah, so I'm trying. So I mean, it's been a big experiment. So I don't know for those that have been following me or not, but I did OMAD for like 1 meal a day for 9-10 months. But it a few things, like I noticed that my glucose went in the morning when I would check it increased. So I always hovered around 80s, 70s in keto. And then once I hit OMAD, I didn't check it that frequently, but the few times I did, sometimes my glucose was almost 100. And so that was one thing that was starting to concern me. Sometimes my energy would dip. And then I conditioned myself to eat a lot in one serving. But I would then feel the dip in energy after a lot of times. So I would feel really, really sleepy. It wasn't all the time, because then I would obviously have changed it. And then what was the other thing? Yeah, it was just overall energy. And then, I noticed I was starting to gain a little bit of weight. I mean, it wasn't significant, but I could tell, right? And so those things, and then as I started researching, I realized, maybe OMAD isn't the best thing. Maybe it's better for our digestive system to, have 2 separate meals a day, and then, portion out the calories in that sense, and not like inundate your body with like 2,000, 3,000 calories and give your body sort of a shock. And so at least for me, I realized OMAD is probably not going to work. And so I've been trying to incorporate a little bit of more extended fasting, so sort of heal and really to stop the whole OMAD cycle. So like I'm so used to now eating like 2,500 calories or however, I don't even know how many calories it is. So I'm just saying that. But whatever large amount of calories I was consuming, I'm trying to retrain my body so that I can have 2 like normal sized meals in a day and then be okay with that. But I'm still adjusting to it. So I'll have sometimes a really large lunch, and then I'll try to eat like a small-ish dinner, but it's not always working out. Like some days I still do OMAD, some days I do 2MAD, some days then I try to fast, and that, yeah. And then sometimes I fast to try to, heal sort of my whatever's going on with my digestion. So my goal is 2MAD and then see how I feel, and then, do some blood testing and see like where my glucose is in the morning to see like, is it all, and where my energy is too. So not just my blood, but also how I feel, and then kind of go with that. But
so are you what time are you testing it? Right after you get up, or what?
Yeah, so that's always been I know there's some people that say don't measure right when you wake up because of the I forgot what it's called, the morning, the
dawn phenomenon.
There you go, the dawn phenomenon, where your cortisol is the highest in the morning. But I've always measured at the morning, and so that's sort of my baseline, and so I just check during that time. But it's as soon within like the 30-minute window I wake up, I try to check it.
Have you tested it like later in the day, like after you, like a couple hours after you eat or something?
So I have only, I used to when I was on keto, and then I think it was probably just maybe 20 points higher from when I ate, which is good, right? It's not too bad. But on carnivore, when I was doing OMAD, I would check it, and sometimes it would be above 100. And so that's what I'm saying. And I was strictly eating meat, like beef and maybe butter, maybe eggs. Like there was no carbs. I mean, I don't even drink caffeine now. And so
Dr. Sean Baker said his is 120.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a lot more different than I am. Like, so, and I don't know where his baseline was before. I think he used to be type 2 diabetic or pre-diabetes. I forgot. I read a story a long time ago. I forget. But it really depends on where your baseline was before. So for me on keto, and prior to that, I was 70, 80s. And the fact that it's increasing was the concern for me. And, it might, maybe I'm eating too much protein for what my body needs. And maybe that's why I'm getting tired. I don't know. And so I'm tinkering. I'm also tinkering with potentially eating a little less protein and upping the fat. Whereas before I was like, whether it was a T-bone or ribeye or whatever, like I was just cooking it as is and then just eating that and not really adding much fat to it. So that could also be it. So, I mean, right now I'm sort of in this test phase and just trying to figure out what will make me feel better, and then not just the blood glucose levels. So.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of our questions that somebody.
Oh, yeah. So we have a few minutes left. Maybe we could try to get into some of the questions. Do you,
I have them here.
Okay. I mean, do you want to ask one of the questions? I don't know. We have a few, so you can.
So somebody said, check your thyroid. How do you check your thyroid at home? I mean, I kind of already covered that because I was talking about how you can order it from, there's several different places now that have those. So like Everly Well or Direct Labs. I wouldn't try to just go on. I mean, your symptoms are really important. You can Google a huge list of symptoms. So you want to do, you know, your eyebrows are going to be falling out, you're sleepy all the time, your joint pain, your digestive problems, rashes, sudden unexplained weight gain. There's so many symptoms. You can Google all the symptoms of low thyroid, but you can always take those tests at home or at a lab. You just take the requisition form to the lab, and then you can be, if your doctor won't do the test, you can take that test and then say, I already got these done, so what do you think now? You know, and then if you don't like what they say, just go to another doctor. I mean, you're the client, you're not the, when somebody said you have chronic low stomach acid, I mean, I'd say that's more of a stress issue.
Well, it could also be their diet. So if they were coming from a standard American diet, yes. So there's so many, and I'm going through this whole gut healing series right now on my Instagram, but it's so many reasons why you can have low stomach acid. It could be poor diet and a stress. Stress is a huge one, but so is diet. And so it really depends. Like I think
it could be and like H. pylori.
Yeah. So I mean, yes. And so I really think it depends. What was your question? It was specifically
like they've tried betaine HCl and it didn't work. And
sure.
So like I mean, low stomach acid.
It could also be it depends. I think it could be digestive enzymes because the whole digestive system. There's so many different facets to it and so many different components. Obviously, betaine HCl is one part where it's the stomach acid, and that's where some of your food is digested. But then there's also, and in my last post I talk about it, but you also have salivary amylase just in your mouth, and that digests like carbohydrates or foods in your mouth, and that's a digestive enzyme. But there's digestive enzymes in several points of your body, so your low stomach acid can be from multiple things, and it's a cascade of events. So it really depends, and you would have to potentially work with someone to really pinpoint what exactly it is that's causing your low stomach acid.
And I mean, the thing is with these questions, we have no idea what they're eating now. Like,
yeah.
If you're eating a lot of vegetables and stuff, like try stopping that, because I feel like I had a lot worse digestion when I wasn't eating vegetables. When I was eating tons of vegetables, I had way worse digestion. And also, I mean, like you said about the person might be eating on the run. You have to sit down, rest and digest. You have to chew. I mean, these are like the basics.
Yes, and that's why I think carnivore is also a perfect elimination diet, because most people are not allergic to meat. I mean, obviously some people have histamine intolerances, but if you get fresh cuts of meat, the chance of you having food sensitivities to beef is not too common. And so then you can create that as your baseline. So if you eat beef for just, I don't know, say like a few weeks, however you feel is sort of your baseline. And then from there, you can then incorporate certain foods and then see how you feel. And then that'll sort of tell you, okay, maybe my body doesn't like spinach or whatever food you're trying to reincorporate back. So that is something that you can also see too. And in general, I think you can digest beef well. And you may just need a supplement with the low stomach acid. So again, it depends on the person. So
I know. They gained weight on carnivore. Could be because my hormones are off balance.
Yes. So, I could take a stab at that. So I obviously have gained a little bit of weight too. So, again, so even
obviously,
for me, like,
yeah, obvious, Judy.
Anyway, so, so it is even for me, as much as I just finished school and I'm like so into all of this nutrition stuff, like I can't figure out exactly what is causing me to gain weight on carnivore as well. So I'm trying to pull different levers. So with that thought in mind, I think for this person too, absolutely is related to hormones when you gain weight, because I mean, it's your hormones and insulin sensitivity that causes weight gain, but it could also be factors that are pushing your hormones. So it could be your stress, the foods that you're taking, your sleep, lifestyle things. It could be toxins. And again, it's the best way to really figure out and pinpoint what exactly it is, it would be to work with someone. I mean, I don't if you have any input into that, but
yeah, I mean, I think it would go back to, you know, what was, I mean, a lot of people say they gain weight when they first start carnivore. You know, it's almost like you've been nutrient depleted for so long, then you start eating real food. I mean, was somebody the other day, I think even Michaela Peterson said she gained weight when she started carnivore or something. I mean, somebody really, you know, a big carnivore person that, like, you got to give it, like, I mean, this is a healing journey. Like 2 months, I'd say, you know, I was just starting to see the benefits of carnivore at 2 months. So, I mean, I think a year or something is a good, you know, good
yeah,
time.
no, I agree. So I think what was her name? Kelly Hogan. She's been a carnivore for
Maybe that was who it was.
over 10 years, and so she gained weight initially. And so there are a lot of people, and I think if you come from a lifestyle of under eating or, you know, all these things, then there are components that, and if you are severely undernourished, then yes, your cells will likely hold on to a lot of the nutrient dense stuff, and so then you could potentially gain weight. There's also, you know, there's a hormonal change when you eat different foods, and so there will be a laundry list of why people gain weight. And so I think, yes, if you are very early on in your journey of carnivore, do not stop it just because you gain weight. Like for me, it's a little different of a story. So I gained weight at after 7 months. So like, that's why I was saying something's off for me.
But I mean,
I didn't gain weight initially.
I think also you have, I mean, you've just gone through this big program and everything. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this summer, when you're a little more, you know, you have a little more free time or whatever, that you go back to your normal or whatever, because I mean, I just think you were trying to start your business, and then you're trying to do school, and then like you're changing from having a big, you know, a big full-time job, and now you're trying to do this. So I mean, it's like a big transition phase. So it's like, just stay off the scale, people, and get a life. All right.
Okay, I think we have maybe time for one question.
I think it's gonna cut us off, so maybe we should just
Okay. So,
I mean, I think it's a hard stop at an hour. I think it cuts you off.
Sure.
I mean,
so then, Caitlin, where can people find you, and then what are you up to next? If you can just.
Well, I'm over Grass-Fed Girl on Instagram, so just over next to Judy, and just scroll over a little bit. And I'm working on a carnivore ebook, just a beginner's ebook about how to get started and everything, because I just get the same questions over and over, and I want to help people to not make the same mistakes I did and just get started on the right foot. And so that should be coming out soon. And you can sign up for my list at grassfedlist.com, so you'll know when my book's coming out. And I've been doing infographics, so stay tuned for those. If you see them, just share them, and share Judy's. She inspired me to start doing the infographics. So.
Yeah, and I'll have notes on our conversation. So like your medication, I think there was a few things we talked about, and also your grass-fed list. I'll put it in the show notes or whatever. So I'll do that.
So you're gonna put this on YouTube?
Yeah. So I'll add it to YouTube, and then I'll have to figure out the technology stuff. I'll ask you.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I finally bought an Instapot because of you. All your stories and
oh my goodness,
how you use your Instapot and how all your meat becomes so tender. I've always been anti all these like different like contraptions, and so I've only had an air fryer, and so I finally bit the bullet, and so we got an Instapot. So I haven't used it yet, but I'm very, very curious.
Oh well, if you need any help,
I know. I just got to go back on your stories. You have so many. It's so good.
I mean, I didn't like it at first. I was like, this is stupid. I don't want